We are going to look at comparable interface. This is quite useful when you have multiple objects to make a decision which object is bigger or greater than other. Then you may implement comparable interface. Then you can override one of abstract method called compareTo. Again, we are comparing same class type. For example, if you have two circle objects and then two apples or animals based on same class type. So let me pick the idea of a circle. If we have multiple circles based on same class, the decision will be made by radius. So let's say radius is equal to small size 2. That looks slightly bigger, so let's say equal to 5. This one will say 7 or 8. So question is, how do we compare the first circle is bigger than second one and second circle is bigger than last one? Usually we can do that based on area of circle, that the green shadow area of that circle. Of course, you have to pick the idea of calculations based on certain objects. So let's say area equal to radius multiplied by radius, and then we use pi. Pi refers to 3.14 and so on. Or you can actually write the value 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3.14, for example. That's the area of a small circle. The medium-sized circle can be next one. So based on, let me just make another one. So radius 2, of course, that is greater than radius 5. In that case, we will return integer value minus 1. If we say small circle is greater than another small circle, actually it's equal, okay, in terms of area. So we will return 0. Let's say radius 5 is less than 8. It will return a positive number. Again, this number is arbitrary, basically return negative number or positive number equals return 0, okay? Let me name circles. So let's say object name called circle 1 based on circle class, circle 2, circle 3 and 4. Let's create a new project, then I will demonstrate how to use comparable interface. So let me begin with a simple idea of a comparable interface. Many Java classes already implement comparable interface that actually has one abstract methods coded as compareTo. They should be overwritten by its subclasses. So let me start with the integer object, because we are going to compare objects. So let me say integer 5. So we have two integer objects has two values, 3 and 5. So we can say int 1, second one, compareTo, that is belongs to integer class, implement comparable interface. Okay, so we can use compareTo method. So this is an integer class that implements comparable interface. Okay. So if you run it, it says the -1, basically saying int 1 is not greater than int 2. Don't worry too much about actual return value. Just focus on whether it's a negative value or 0 or a positive number. Negative value means that is not true, is not compared to int 1 is not greater than int 2. Let's look at maybe two more examples. String class also implements comparable interface. So if you have a string value, let's say ABC, according to ASCII code, anything more than A, B, D, or E, because D or E appear after C, it has a highest value. So if we do str1 compared to str2, it's going to say -1. Okay. Actually, it may return minus D and E, so -2. Because the C, after C, there will be a D and then E. So basically, distance between C and E is -2. Don't forget it's a -32, because capital A and capital lowercase a is different, 65 to 97, if I remember correctly, in terms of ASCII code. So let's look at other object called date. This is not a good way of using date class, but for simplicity, just use this way. Today is April 17. Let me compare with tomorrow, 18. Basically say import Java util date. It does not come with a Java language package. Then number 2, yes, that's the the old way of using date class, so don't worry at this point. Say what's important is here, can we use compareTo methods belongs to comparable interface. Again, it's going to return -1. If we change to date 2 compared with date 1, it's going to return a positive value. That is a number 1. So positive integer value return means date 2 is greater than date 1. And many Java API actually implement comparable interface. So please try. Now I'm going to create my own class called circle. Straightforward, very simple. Add property, radius, double data type. Default constructor with parameter, okay. Let me add one more. Add the property here, area of circle, double. So we have two data fields and get area, set area, and then get and set radius, okay. So radius here, when we calculate area, we should say radius multiplied by radius. Pi, we can use mass class dot pi, that's a constant. Say 3.1415 and so on, okay. So we use that constant pi. Pretty much that's all. We need toString methods so that we should be able to see what's inside. Okay, straightforward, area and radius. Then we make it sure that circle is comparable, means we have to implement comparable interface. Then the type we want to add here, circle type, okay. So control spacebar. On comparable, it says the interface comparable type is T, okay. T stands for class type. And then we can use collection.sorts or array.sorts to make it in ascending order. Okay, we can basically sort it out if we have a multiple circle objects, okay. You can pull out the menu if you press the control spacebar on comparable keywords, okay. So here, 3 things to do: greater than, equal, or less than, okay. So get area of this one object, greater than. Let me change O to be more readable. Whatever the new circle you are comparing with. So circle, let me say circle. So if you have a circle 1, you are referring to one circle 1 dot carry area. So two objects, the first one greater than second object. as if we do the other way around. So get area, circle get area, -1. This case in terms of objects area of circle. That's it. Now we have compareTo methods that is implemented. Now you should be able to compare one circle object with another circle object because we already implement comparable interface. And then the abstract method, it comes with a comparable interface. We implement it here. Just have a look. It's not much at this point. So instead of using this, I will keep it. I'm going to create a new class called CircleApp. Public static void main, tab key. Let me construct 3-4 circle objects. There will be 2, 3, 4. We need a different value. 100, I will make it same so we can compare. The first one is a straightforward circle. So let's say circle 1 is greater than circle 2. Okay. So let me change. That will be 1. Compare with compareTo 2, 3. Sorry, 3. That will be 3 and 4. Okay. That will be same. This one should be number 1. So 1 minus 1 and 0. Basically saying circle 1 is greater than circle 2. Circle 1 is, of course, smaller than circle 3. Circle 3 is same as circle 4. Let's create an array. Once we compare circle objects, we should be able to print in order. So a bit more practical. Let's say circle is array. Just add it one by one. So we know what we have at this point. So first one, we have 1. That should be 3 and 2. So we add circle 1, 2, 3, 4 in order. And there is one method called sorts in array class. So arrays with S. Sort, we have one method. It will allow us to sort elements inside the array. So we are talking about circle 1, 2, 3, 4. As long as those objects are comparable. Okay. So this is the one. Okay. All elements of a specified array, we can determine the basically order of elements. Okay. So circle length I, once we sort it out. We like to print, okay, what's inside the array. Two string values. So if you look at the output, we have a circle. It depends on radius size, 510, 10, 100, 100. It displays a sorted array with circle objects. These circle objects should be comparable. Okay, it's supposed to implement comparable interface if you want to do this. Okay, there's another way of sorting our objects that implements comparable interface. It's what we call as using collections. One of the collection we use already happen to be array list. Okay. Type we are going to use is circle. I will say list, array list. We don't have to repeat circle and the default size. List. Let me import. Let me add a circle to the list one by one. 4 of them. So you know that circle 1, 2, 3 are different different size, or it has a different value in terms of area of a circle. Let's print unsorted array list with the circle objects. Basically just saying display circles. We're going to get array list. We need a loop. Start with 0 and list dot size. List get I. That will return object. So we print toString. Methods belongs to circle object. Okay, and repeat too many. Okay, that's the circle, 4 of them, last 4 of them. So let me comment so that we can actually see what's going on with the array list. Okay. Just comment it all. Okay. So that's the one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 5, and 100, 100. So this one may be commented too. It's not in order, isn't it? The second circle is smaller, okay? So here I will say display sorted array list with circle objects. So we can use collections. That's the class, comes with the sort methods. You can deal with collections, in this case array list. repeat the same thing. This time it's going to return sorted array. I'll just say sorted. Unsorted. Okay, make it clear. So first one as it is, 10, 5, 100, 100. Second one, 5, 10, 100, 100. Okay. Let me go through a few things here. A, that's okay. Here, compare to, if we press Ctrl spacebar, this object is less than, equal to, or greater than specific object. I think it should be a comment, okay, here. The first one is greater than. Next one is less than. Last one is should be equal to, okay? Let me just add these comments here. Okay, that's how you use comparable interface. That's all. Thank you.